Hello, welcome back. And Blue Ascension is back with our new series called Digital Transformations.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
welcome back, Kara.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Andrew. Good to see you.
Yeah, so today's going to be our kind of diving in topic of digital transformations, and we're going to talk about the trinity of the three major components of the digital campaign. We kind of break this down into a few different components, and we like to see the whole thing as a whole, and look at what is the whole piece of it look together, and that's what today's topic is about, is how it kind of fits all together. What are the components in general? We'll kind of go through those pieces, how they fit together, and some thoughts we have on it, and where we're going to be going in the future. So kind of digging a little bit deeper as we go along.
Yeah.
So do you want to get started a little bit on just what's your thought on the overview here, Kara?
Yeah, you bet. So we put together this nice map, and this is all the major components of a strong digital marketing strategy program. So the Digital Trinity, that we use that term, and I don't know if it's unique to us, but we think it's pretty awesome, because in our opinion, when you combine social media, email marketing, and your marketing focused website, those three things really coalesce into a really strong digital marketing program. So that's what we call the Trinity: social, email, and websites. And then there's some other components as well, and those are, we call them support components. So content marketing, it's the content that you're giving to your fans and followers. Analytics and measurements, we're all about data that can tell us a really good story about how things are working and how we can tweak them. And then bringing it all together with community, whether that's a membership, it's a group, whether that's Facebook or Slack or some other sort of group like that. And then we also have another arm of this. We have a membership quest focus, and we definitely dive into membership specific information for marketing your membership. So that is the overview of the digital transformation and the digital marketing journey.
Nice. Okay, well, let's get started. Yeah, so we can go as long as we plan, but definitely we'll talk about a little bit each of those areas. And as Kara hit upon, the Digital Trinity is what it's been. A lot of campaigns you'll see are really focused on one component, whether there's a lot of social interaction and social activity on pages, and or you might see some emails, and maybe or your emails are sending you to a landing page, or maybe two of the three, but really all three. Really, there's so many different aspects to this. We'll talk a little bit about what social media is. Is it Facebook, or is it Instagram, or is it local search and other things like that? So there's lots of different ways that you can connect with people. And what are the big thing we'll talk about in a little bit is that that all of this is important, but it's all about the customer journey, and when when are your messages kind of getting with your fans. And so it's really all of them together, the right message at the right time. And if you use them all in certain different ways along that customer journey, it's going to be maybe some different messages. So we're going to kind of lift off from here and kind of use each of these going forward. So The first one, social media marketing. You know, this is kind of that kind of fun stuff. You want to talk a little bit about social media marketing, Cara?
Yeah, you bet. You bet. And we all know Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all those things, which are all social media platforms, probably the most popular ones. That said, there's a lot more to social media than just doing a quick, quippy, short, fun post. It can also be a really serious business tool because you can connect with your audience and your customers and answer questions and kind of get a conversation going. So it's more than meets the eye sometimes. What do you think,
Right.
Andrew?
And yeah, and I think you know, we kind of put this at the beginning of the trifecta a little bit because during the customer journey here, it's the kind of earlier stages of that journey, right?
Right.
And we call this audience building, and right. So you know, our kind of audience engagement, leads, and conversions is really about how do we find the people in our niche neighborhoods and our the things that we're interested in and are interested in our business,
Mm-hmm.
and how do we find those people and then connect with them, and that's the first stage. And whether Cara said, is it Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or you know, TikTok short videos or local search and other things like that, where people might be searching for things in their interest or their neighborhood. So definitely, you know, this is the first step, and we'll go over this a little bit in detail, but on future podcasts. But if you look over in this little square, that's kind of a little sub breakout of, you know, of what we talk about, but there's different types of business pages that you can be part of. There's communities online, and also local search, and how do we optimize that for your businesses. And there's not a lot of social back and forth components, but there's actually social like components in there that actually really boost some of your things. We can talk about some things and a little bit about social CTAs, and we don't need to go a lot into that, but what do you think about the CTA? What CTA stand for, Cara?
Sure. CTA is call to action. And in all of our social, ideally all of our social and all of our messaging, we want to give customers or people that are interested in what we're doing a next step. Like call to action is the next step, whether that's visiting a website, signing up for a newsletter, whatever. But it's just giving them another step a little deeper into connecting with that business.
Yeah, it's not necessarily bombarding people with those, you know, buy this, but maybe if they're interested in something, you might send them to a blog article or another post, or maybe get them on your email list. So there's lots of different ways to do that. So that's social. And you know, the next component here, a little finicky, is you know, Cara's sphere, and that's email. So email is really kind of you know, where it's at. And you know, why don't you talk a little bit about email and your perspective?
I'm so passionate about email. I'm so passionate. So we all know that. I'll put that out there. I think it's an amazing thing. It used to be the old way to communicate when that's about all we had, and it went through a little downturn for a while, but it's really back, and it is one of the most cost-effective period ways of communicating with fans and along the whole customer journey, like Andrew was talking about. So it's a beautiful way to really connect with your customers, share the heart of your business, share really what the energy of your business is all about, and that kind of thing. And it's a lovely thing as well, because for somebody to be on your email list, they trust you enough to have given you their email. So that means, like I've heard it said, you know, you're walking into their living room, so they trust you to walk into your living room. And that's a big trust factor right there. So
yeah, and trust is based off of the customer journey, right? So when you first meet people, they're not going to trust you right away. And so as we start to find the audience, and like Cara said, the trust is really important. And so as we find the audience and we slowly build trust, we then start that first initiative of trust as getting people into your email list and getting people into your offerings and also your value proposition. What are you sharing with them, to provide value to them? And it's not always, dollar for, maybe it's attention for, or interest for information. And so, like Cara said, then once you build that trust, we have to then earn that trust. And that's really where, we talk a little bit about some of these things, we'll go into, automation. So like when you get signed up on an email list, what are those, you say, I'm giving you my trust, and I'm putting my value, my trust into you. And you never receive anything back for 6 months. And then you kind of get an email saying, hey, buy my stuff, versus maybe, you say, I'm interested in this type of topic, and you get a warm welcome email, and it's fun and engaging, and maybe there's some calls to action that they get some extra value or some things that they're interested in to help them out right away. That there can be a lot of trust right there, and then right there's a nice connection in their mind, right, Car?
Exactly. Exactly. And that is a really, I think, an overlooked piece of content in email marketing is that welcome automation email. Because I think one of the saddest things is when I sign up for an email list, because I'm really excited about the product or the company or the person, and I don't get anything, and it's really sad. So a really nice, like you said, Andrew, a really nice, warm, automated welcome email is a beautiful thing. And it just sets up that whole relationship and the feeling of what you're going to get going forward.
Yeah. And we're kind of blocking the slides here. That's my fault. But the world, it's really one of the most effective ones. And we had a slide earlier that talked about social media, and they talk about the traffic you own and the traffic you rent, and it's rent versus own. And ultimately, on social media, anything can happen. You can get banned. Your accounts can be, they can tune down. If you have 10,000 people as fans in Facebook, doesn't mean that when you do a post, 10,000 people see your post, right? They determine how much they see it, and they can tune it up and tune it down. There's lots of different ways to leverage those and get the most out of that, but ultimately it's not always there. But emails, in theory, once you set it out and you build that trust, both a virtual trust, right, like Cara's mentioned and talking about, but also there's that trust, I would call digital trust. And so how do you get, we talk about in here, in here, like delivery, like how do you, one of those delivery components is, how does it get into your inbox? And nowadays we have multiple inboxes inside your inbox, your promotion tabs and all this kind of stuff. And if you're, in the goodness of the email gods, and it might get into their inbox, or over time, if you're delivering interesting things and interesting subject lines and people are opening it more, maybe they have better open rates. And then we talk about what are the metrics on there, but lots of things with email. So it's a fun component, and definitely, as Cara said, one of the I think up and coming, and also been around for a while now. So I think it's yeah. And then the last thing here is our websites here. We call them marketing focused websites, right, Cara?
We do.
What do we mean by that?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. We believe a marketing focused website can and should be beautiful and very visually appealing and engaging and all that, but it's also got the strength and the of data connected with it. So you're really knowing where people are coming on your website, and you're using it as a tool, really as a tool. So yeah, it's going to be pretty and beautiful, but it's also going to have some teeth to it as well.
Right. And yeah, I think we talk about, websites are comprised of a number of things, but ultimately, it's people are coming to search and learn more about you. We talk about where to go, what to know, what to try, and what to buy, right? And it's kind of, kind of slowly leading them down that customer journey. But make it easy for them to find what you are wanting them to find. So, and that's where the landing pages come in. And are they focused, and do they have really clear messaging of what you're trying to share with them, the value proposition, the VP we showed before, and and it's all about trust, right, Kara? And we're building trust along that way.
Yeah.
And so those landing pages, and even a normal basic business website, is a bunch of landing pages to share that customer journey and to build trust with that you say what you are and do what you do, and show that through your actions and maybe examples of some of your services. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And another really nice thing to think about when you're putting your website together and your content is solving asking the questions that they're not asking you, but that they're asking. By visiting the website, they have a question or a problem that they want to solve. So kind of get into your customer's brain about why are they interested in visiting my website, and provide them that content. Provide them a blog article on that topic, or have a separate page for that kind of information or something. So yeah, websites can be just
Think about websites. Here's a fun website to check out. You can check out our website as well, but that's one you can check out and go look at the services we provide. But again, how do we do? And we're going to talk a little bit about this, but how do you know how well your website's doing, and how do you know what it's doing there for you? So we'll talk about ways to do that in more depth, of course, later on. But ultimately, another associated with websites, and more, especially in us all working from home and not access to a physical shops and things like that, is sales online, right? And so, can you do sales on your website? Are there software services websites that you can hook into your website as a subdomain? And even more and more, it's getting easier and easier to hook either into social media, or to have leveraging social media sales pages that link directly to posts and other things. I think that's going to become more and more, and the better we all understand both how they hook together and how they make it easy to get paid, right? That's one of our
our phrases. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what the cat up on that's why I put the cat there, because the cat's saying, hey, let's make it easy to get paid. I want to buy this little mouse that you shake, and then it was like, I know what I want. Let's buy it right now. And so if you go to the website and you click on the button to buy it and you're ready, and then it's 14 stages later and you can't put the card in, and it we'll go somewhere else, right? So make it easy to get paid. So the sales funnel is part of the as well as specific funnels of landing pages and opt-ins and things, and we'll talk about that, of how to get people onto your lists. But really, your home base is your website, right? And doing that. So
it is. It's really the one-stop shop for everything about your company. Yeah.
And so that's the start of the Digital Trinity, right, Kara? We're getting in there. We got the different components, and then but they all, they always joke around that math's the same, but realistically, we see that 1 + 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 3. It can equal a lot more synergy between those guys and get us more. So what are the other components that we can learn to do more with those? And that's kind of our next area there. By the way, we used to have some fun intermission things. So last series we did for the membership quest, we were doing intermissions with movies and things like that. So if you can come up, if you have some fun thoughts or things that you want to do or quizzes, please put them in the chat, or send us a message. You can send us a message anytime. We check our socials and things like that, and you can always find us on social media, both on Facebook and Instagram and things like that, as well as YouTube. And definitely let us know what you think would be some fun intermission, interactive stuff. We'd love to have interactivity and have more people be in our fun. So, but I guess the next thing is, how do we leverage all this stuff, right, Kara, and make the most out of it?
Exactly. Yeah. There's a few support tools. We're calling them extra fuel, like that rocket fuel booster. And doing this is going to help all the pieces of the Trinity work even better. So yeah, go for the first one.
Once you go into the top one, this is your specialty.
Yeah, content marketing. I'm all about the words. I'm like the word queen, and I love them. I love the power of words to connect people and heart to heart. And who would have thought little words, 26 characters, at least in our language, could do that? But I think it's remarkable. So content marketing is all of the information that you share with your audience that is going to help them, for lack of a better word, live a better life, whatever that means. Solve a business solution, solve a personal thing, find a new way to do something better, easier. So it's your blogs, it's your social posts, it's your emails, it's your you might have an ebook or a course or a membership, anything like that. That's all content marketing, and it's a great way to share information with your audience. And the beautiful thing about that is that there's so many ways. It's also videos, it's also audio. So it's however your customers want to consume information and learn from you, you can provide it in the way that they're most comfortable with.
Yeah. I think content marketing to me is one of the most fascinating ones. And, if we kind of look back on our overview a little bit and we kind of zoom into content marketing there, but like Kara said, sometimes we think of content as individual components like a video or but even if you think about a video, it's really a story we're telling.
Right.
And how do you make that story engaging? How do you make that interesting? Is there a progression? Kara has some magic. Maybe we can convince her to do the storytelling, teaching us how to do that storytelling. And was it 5 C's or something like that? I don't remember.
Yes.
But definitely so interesting, right, Kara? Like it's so in depth, and then along with that, like Kara said, like I said, hopefully we can get her to do that. But also the bundles of content, right, and bringing things together, like a web page. Like a web page now can have videos, it can have text. We can take this podcast and embed it into our web page, and then strip out the audio and put it into an audio podcast, and then they can play that on the web page as well. And then we can strip out the text from our speech and put that into a text post. So
yeah,
so many different ways to leverage this stuff. And I think it's not just one component nowadays. It's more multidimensional.
Right. Yes.
And then how to tell that story with visuals and copy and other stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely, Andrew. Yeah.
It's all under right there. Whoa, there we go. So let's go back. So go back to the next is analytics. That's
Andrew.
We all do it, but I think
we all do.
Us being we're a digital media agency, and we work with lots of different industries and ways that digital marketing can be leveraged. And like the biggest thing that we like to share is like, how do we know how we're doing, and how do we know that the message we are doing or the calls to action are getting people to where we want them to go? And so we're just working with a client this morning, and they have this beautiful website and sales websites and things like that, but there's no tracking stuff on there. And so how do we get analytics installed? And there's lots of different ways and versions, but sometimes free is good, but Google Analytics is super powerful. So getting that on there and knowing page views, and now with tracking events, right? Event marketing, and events on the site are people watching videos, people clicking a link, submitting a form. Those are all physical events that you can track. And then you can set up goals with those things, and as well as, hey, I want, and then track to see and then associating them with campaigns and other things like that. So super powerful. And we were also talking about event marketing this morning, right? And and the Digital Trinity is beautiful, right? Like I would love to do a podcast on that someday, but is really that you have nice social events, and then you have social posts and videos sharing your really cool event. You send people to your event website for to buy tickets or learn about the event, and then they go to your ticketing site, and then it triggers events of putting stuff in their cart, and then you send an email doing the same thing.
Right.
People go to your sign up for your event, they get on your email list, you send people information about the event and things that they can do and buy, and then you have your event and you send surveys and you have pictures of the event and you take videos, and then you have all that media for future stuff, right?
Exactly.
But you track that throughout the whole life cycle, right?
Yes. And then if it's a annual event you do over again, then you have all of that goodness and you can just tweak it up for the next time and just spiral up every single time. Absolutely.
Right. And then I don't know if that's the word anymore, hot wash, right? I like the word, but
we call them boredoms. I like yours a lot better.
I don't know. But hot wash or whatever, but really, what did we learn from it, right? And take notes, and if your next event or your next campaign, and I would love to, one of the things that everybody looks at in hot washes, right? And what do you learn from them? Love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of analytics. And then
one more thing about that, Andrew, just a quote, and I apologize, I don't remember who said it, a scientist somewhere, maybe an economist. He said, it's not the one we think about. It's not the one that was attributed to Drucker, but it's what we can measure, we can improve. And I really like that phrase about analytics and measurement, because when we know how our website, our email open rates, whenever we have that data, then we have measurement and we can improve it. We can keep tweaking it. So just wanted to iterate on that again. That's why it's a fun thing.
We'll move on from here, but I know there's a lot going on here. But the Digital Trinity too, and every single one of those components have very basic stats that are associated with those. Social media and engagements and likes, websites, and we talked about page views and event views and lots of goals, and then also email marketing and open rates and deliverability rates, and are people clicking on the things that you're asking them to look at? So definitely a lot going on there. So bringing it all together, you want to talk a little bit about this, Cara?
I do. This is, again, community and really bringing people together, whether that's an online, like a membership and that kind of community. It could be a private Facebook group, just wherever they're going to meet and connect about a shared interest or a shared passion or a hobby, whatever it is, an industry, that kind of thing. That's what this is all about, is bringing people together to share and talk and keep growing together. What do you think about that, Andrew?
Yeah, I think that's where it's what it's all about, and sharing that if you provide value and you are some passionate about what you want to provide, or you're also selling services that people need and want, and really that customer journey that we talked about, audience engagement, leads, and conversions. Conversion sounds kind of cool, but ultimately, you find the people that are interested in what you're, wanting to provide, your value proposition. You get to talk to them, and find out, and they build trust, they're interested in it. You lead them to maybe sharing what you do, and they're interested in it, and then they either buy it or they download it, or you talk about it and you meet. And then the most important, like Cara said, that final part of that cycle is now you deliver it, and are you following up, say, hey, did you enjoy it? What did you like about it? Did we do a good job? Can we help you? And building from fans to advocates, right?
Exactly.
Really, it's about eventually. And so that it is a big deal there. So that's kind of what we talk about, bringing it together, and also bringing it together of bringing the Trinity together, the three working together in the websites, email, and social and digital, to bring it all together to refine your value proposition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of one little bullet point there.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So kind of a little bit. Maybe we'll go back to the overview slide, but what's maybe a final thought here? At the whole, a lot going on, by the way, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to hear all your comments. So just let us know what you're most interested in as well. But for me, it really is that equation of 1 + 1 + 1 does not equal 3. It equals really boosting your business and the potential that it has to meet people that will be helped by what you're providing. Because I look at it as like 3 circles with that intersection in the middle. And when we do all these 3 things in the Trinity, that little circle is the middle of the rocket power for your business. So it's, putting them all together just really leverages the power of 1 + 1 + 1 equals amazing things.
Yeah. And I guess my thought is that there's a lot going on here. And, when we dig down to every single one of these, there's specialists in every single one of these and experts in all these. And realistically, there's so much involved that we enjoy both the overview and also digging down into it and working with real examples, seeing how they work.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any of these that sound interesting, let us know in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are. Whether you're watching this live or watching this later on down the road, we'd love to hear kind of what are some of the interesting aspects. We kind of talked about in the purple down there, that memberships and how are memberships being evolved now, and more, they're evolving into new and interesting ideas of how to leverage you providing value to people on a month-to-month subscription basis, or a value to, and part of that could be value to a community, or being part of a community, right? And so see that on a lot of the streaming type places like Twitch or YouTube, where you can subscribe to places for 99 cents a month, or 20 bucks a month or whatever, and become super members or other things. So lots of unique ways that this is being worked even right now, and people are being tremendously successful. So what are you doing to do that, and how do we leverage this whole system to really also basically let people know what you're doing, and how to find you and your value? So a lot here. So hi Karen.
Hello.
We'll get this. There we go. And we'll back out here. So kind of the end here, a little bit. Let me get rid of the overlay here for a second. So this is our first podcast. We're our next one, I think we're going to dig a little bit into email. That'll be fun. So be sure to subscribe to our channel on all our platforms. Most the replays will be on YouTube, and we'll kind of get those situated, as well as you can. I'm Andrew, and this is Kara. Again, nice to meet you. And you can also pause the video and scan that QR code to go to our website, or you can go directly to blueascension.com if you want to learn a little bit more about us. And it's all about digital transformation. So we got a lot out of meeting with you today and having fun and talking about things that we're passionate about. And so I wanted to say thanks. We'll be back soon.
We'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody.